In an appearance on a state-run Russian news station, a State Duma member, Alexei Zaravlyov, essentially a member of their parliament, revealed that Russia was ready to retaliate against the US with nuclear weapons. Quote, "To destroy the east coast of the US, 2 Sarmat missiles are necessary, and 2 missiles for the west coast. 4 missiles and there will be nothing left. The mushroom will be taller than a high-rise. That mushroom will be visible from Mexico." The RS-28 Sarmat, aka Satan II, is a Russian ballistic missile unveiled by Putin in 2018, and it made its first test flight on April 20th, 2022. Weighing 208 tons and 14 stories tall, it's a part of Russia's land-based nuclear arsenal, and each missile can carry 15 warheads with the ability to obliterate an area the size of the UK in a single blast. Supposedly, each warhead is 100 times more powerful than the nuclear bomb dropped on Hiroshima in World War II. Putin also claims it is able to break through all modern anti-missile defenses. All of Russia's talk about blowing up US cities is because of NATO and US involvement in the Ukrainian war, as taxpayers' money is diverted to supplying arms to Vladimir Zelensky and his government. Just this week, Biden agreed to provide Zelensky with a $700 million weapons package. This is why Russian politicians are talking about nuking the east and west coast of the United States. Russian state TV essentially announced that World War III had already begun. Quote, "It's time to admit, perhaps, that Russia's special operation in Ukraine is now over, in the sense that a real war has started, World War III. Why is our government always involved in other nations' affairs? It only angers the bear and makes Russia feel threatened," as Russian ambassador to the UK, Andrei Kellen, said in a BBC interview.
We have a very strict provision on the issues of the use of tactical nuclear weapon, and it is mainly when the existence of the state is endangered.
So why push Russia into a defensive position that would certainly provoke an offensive attack? Does Biden want to start nuclear war? Is it a part of the slow and painful building of global government? Even though Russia's missiles are called Satan II, once the nuclear missiles start launching both ways, Satan will be laughing as we destroy ourselves and thinking to himself, mission accomplished. The federal government is openly preparing for fallout from nuclear war on US soil in Austin, Texas. What do they know that they aren't telling us? The self-proclaimed exercise is called Cobalt Magnet 22 and is led by the U.S. Department of Energy's National Nuclear Security Administration. They brought more than 30 local, state, and federal agencies together to conduct a major radiological incident exercise, meaning they simulated a nuclear attack on a U.S. city. Obviously, they're preparing for war with Russia, as the U.S. government gets more involved in supporting Ukraine, both financially and militarily, and NATO continues to expand membership eastward, something they promised Russia in 1990 that they would never do. War with Russia would definitely escalate to nuclear bombs, but who's gonna strike first? Texas citizens were told to expect to see protective clothing and radiological detection equipment in the field, as well as low-flying aircraft and groups of first responders acting out the radiological incident at various locations across the city. The exercise is meant to enable government personnel to practice protecting public health and safety. However, the fact that this is even taking place is an indication that the federally run intelligence agencies believe nuclear war is not only possible, but probable in the near future. So what are they privy to? What does the federal government know that they aren't telling the American people? Could a nuclear attack be coming to the US homeland sooner than we are allowed to think? Perhaps this will be our only heads up.
Russia has successfully tested a new intercontinental ballistic missile that is capable of launching nuclear warheads anywhere across the globe. but the Pentagon has said it is not a threat to the United States or its allies. In a televised address following the missile's reported launch on Wednesday, April 20, Russian President Vladimir Putin posted that the missile, officially called the Rs-28 Sarmat and nicknamed Satan II by NATO, had no equivalents anywhere in the world and would make adversaries think twice before making threats against Russia. But just how much does the diabolically nicknamed missile add to Russia's nuclear threat? First introduced by Putin in a 2018 State of the Nation address as the next generation of nuclear missile technology, the Sarmat missile is 116 feet, 35.3 meters, long and weighs 220 tons, 200 metric tons. Russia began developing the missile in the early 2000s, and it can carry up to 15 light nuclear warheads in an array known as a MIRV, multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles. MIRVs are a missile type first made in the early 1960s and are designed to allow an intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, to send multiple warheads to different targets, according to the Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation. The Sarmat missile was developed to replace Russia's current intercontinental ballistic missile, the aging Soviet-era R-36 or Voyvoda, dubbed Satan by NATO, which could be made into a MIRV of up to 10 light warheads. In addition, the new missile has an estimated range between 6,200 and 11,180 miles, 10,000 to 18,000 kilometers, an improvement over the Voyvoda's range of 6,340 to 9,940 miles, 10,200 to 16,000 kilometers, according to the U.S. Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS. In Wednesday's test, Russia said that the Sarmat was launched from the Plesetsk Cosmodrome and that its practice warheads hit designated targets at the Kura missile test range on the Kamchatka Peninsula, Defense News reported. After the test, Putin said that the missile is capable of overcoming all modern means of anti-missile defense. He also emphasized that Sarmat's parts are made exclusively domestically, which he says will make its mass production easier and accelerate the process of providing it for Russia's strategic missile force. But despite Putin's ominous words, Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby said in a statement on Wednesday that the test launch was not deemed to be a threat to the United States or its allies by U.S. intelligence. Russia properly notified the United States under its New START treaty obligations that it planned to test this ICBM, Kirby added. Such testing is routine and was not a surprise. Comparing silo-based rockets alone, the new Russian rocket looks formidable. It can launch a maximum payload with a yield of roughly 50 megatons of TNT compared with the US Minuteman III, which fires a maximum payload of 1,425 megatons, according to the CSIS. Of equal concern is Russia's claimed hypersonic capacity, which means it is able to accelerate some missiles faster than Mach 5 to 3,836 miles per hour on their way to their targets. Since 2010, the U.S. has conducted 17 different hypersonic missile tests, 10 of which failed. The last, a test of a Lockheed Martin-developed hypersonic air-breathing weapon concept, HAWC, flew sometime in mid-March 2022 and was a success. To conduct the test, Lockheed Martin and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, jettisoned the prototype missile from a carrier plane before boosting it with a scramjet engine so that it quickly accelerated to and maintained cruise speed faster than Mach 5, 5 times the speed of sound, for an extended period of time. The vehicle reached altitudes greater than 65,000 feet, 19,812 meters, and flew for more than 300 nautical miles, 555.6 kilometers. DARPA officials said in a statement, the missile has so far yet to enter service. Additionally, Malcolm Chalmers, the Deputy Director General of the British defense think tank the Royal United Services Institute, RUSI, said that Russia has the world's largest nuclear arsenal with already considerable destructive potential. Despite the increase in destructive power, the new Russian rocket adds little to the danger already posed by Russia's existing nuclear cache. Russia and the Western nuclear states have had the ability to annihilate each other ever since they acquired strategic nuclear bombers, followed by intercontinental ballistic missiles. Over 60 years ago, Julian Lewis, the chairman of the UK Parliament's Intelligence and Security Committee, told the UK Telegraph. Putin adding this new missile to his pre-existing overkill capability makes absolutely no difference to the effectiveness of our Trident nuclear deterrent submarines. Of the world's total of about 13,080 nuclear warheads, Russia says it has 6,257, and the United States says it has 5,550, according to the Arms Control Association. The country with the third most nuclear warheads is China with 350. The U.S. is planning to upgrade one of its ICBMs. The 5-decade-old Minuteman III will be replaced by the $100 billion LGM-35A Sentinel beginning in 2029, according to Defense News.